This show is Dynamic Change and Wellness. And thank you for joining me today. You're listening to KPCALP in Petaluma. I'm so grateful you could make it. And I hope you're having a fantastic morning. And this show is Dynamic Change. My name is Michelle Love. And the focus of this show is to talk about techniques for healing emotional blocks within the psyche and the body. And so I will talk about certain patterns that can develop on a psychological level and how they manifest in our behavior and in our life, and how it can make our body feel sometimes stuck, how it can affect us moving forward in life. And I will give examples of how to work through healing that on many levels, with the behavior, with how you think, and setting up boundaries for yourself so you can feel safe, and to develop new patterns of behavior that will facilitate you being able to heal. And I do a lot of guided meditations to work on the somatic level of the emotional experience. So somatic means our feeling in our body. So how our feelings are stored within our body. And so basically what I do is I'm a certified wellness coach. I have a degree in psychology. I'm a certified self-defense instructor and a fitness trainer. And I've worked over 30 years in the wellness field, and I used to work in mental health. So if you need more information on me, you can go to my website, which is dynamicchange.wellness.com. And I really encourage people, if you want me to ever address a particular challenging issue or emotional block, or anything that kind of stresses you out, this whole show is about showing you how to have more wellness in your life. And you can email me from my website, but the email is dcwellness88@gmail.com. And so today I'm excited. We are going to be talking about, so this week I'm going to be talking about how to reclaim your body when you've had abuse experiences in your childhood that affect you in a very deep way, that affect your body experience, feeling comfortable in your body, feeling regulated. So when you have romantic relationships, that sometimes it can create a barrier and make that difficult to connect with others and feel safe. And last week I talked about, I make up these imaginary people for you to give examples of how things can manifest and play out in our lives. And so last week I wanted to speak to what I would imagine could be how a male experience may manifest. And I like to speak to the masculine anytime I can. I do have feedback that I get from men at times about their experiences in life, and how trauma has affected them. So taking that knowledge that I slowly work on, gathering to understand, what men go through. I'm very familiar with what all of us females, the feminine, go through. And I think sometimes our society really doesn't create a lot of openings for the masculine to come forward with their experience and the challenges with that. And sometimes these things are so buried within our subconscious where we know something's wrong, but we don't really know how to access it. So when I do these guided meditations, it's to really give you some tools for self-exploration. If you feel like your body is holding something that may have been repressed and may not be unknown to you, I try to give you a lot of resources of where you can find help, a way you can get in touch with that in a safe way, where there's a lot of modalities and psychological techniques. And then I'll also refer groups and therapy, all kinds of things. But so we can just kind of get in touch with ourselves I think a lot of our society promotes workaholism and not being in touch, kind of brushing over, like there's this, you get desensitized to the level of discomfort that you may be feeling on an emotional level. And I think most people have had a certain amount of trauma, and I think we operate on this like just automatic pilot, and that often there's not time made to kind of unpack what you're carrying, and so it just keeps building and keeps, more being added to it because it's not being expelled. It's like a poison that just kind of builds up and builds up, and then we have this little murk within us that is not good for our health, not only for our mental health and our emotional health, but it can affect your physical health. So that's why I do these gentle guided meditations, to really show you a way to access things that you may be kind of automatic pilot, flying over, but you're affected on it, and sometimes in a way where like the health is slightly affected, the mood is slightly affected, sometimes it's greatly affected, and it's very obvious. You're like, well, I know there's a whole lot there. I'm not sure what to do with it, but I know there's a lot there. But I think sometimes we are so desensitized to the amount of stress that we carry, and we handle in life, and how that emotionally impacts us, or the experiences we've gone through in life. Maybe there wasn't time to address it and to give it the amount of attention it really needed. So that's why I structure this show in these ways. So again, my name is Michelle Love. You're listening to Dynamic Change, and I am happy today to talk about reclaiming your body. So basically, I'm talking about when you've had a strong amount of abuse in the childhood that left a sense of violation for the body and being uncomfortable with your body. And that can stem from a lot of different things. That can come from domestic violence, from physical abuse, even really intense verbal abuse and being put down, intimate levels of abuse. There's just a lot of things that can really make us not feel comfortable in our bodies. And so I want to talk about how that can affect our ability to feel comfortable, to be intimate with our loved ones when we're in a romantic situation. I think that there can be some big barriers to connecting fully and really enjoying the freedom of enjoying our bodies, enjoying our connection. And so we're going to do an extended guided meditation around this today, about how to bring that safety, that feeling back into our tissue, how to work on loving those parts of ourselves that maybe somatically feel pain from trauma. So trauma, because our cells have memory, okay, every little cell in your body they're very intelligent. I really don't think that scientists even know the full extent of the intelligence of the whole being, right? We have so many layers, and our bodies are magnificent. The amount of how they can adapt to pain in the body, how the psyche can adapt to pain and kind of repress stuff, or put it in a little compartment within our psyche, and maybe I'll deal with that in 20 years. Or, our body also, we adapt to injuries, and we overcompensate, and able to shift things in our body to kind of handle that deficit. If you ever look at animals, I think animals are fantastic and really lovely. And if you look at like a dog that somehow lost a limb, they just keep moving. They find a way to keep, you know, they don't give up and be like, I can't move anymore. They fight to keep moving. And you will see them finding a way to keep walking through their little life with the three legs. And I think that's really inspiring. And I do think as human beings, we are also capable of a profound amount of compensation, a profound amount of adapting. So even when we've gone through really, really difficult things, there is sometimes it is too challenging and people just feel like broken and not able to ignore it. But I also find that there is a lot of resilience too. And so sometimes we don't even recognize, wow, I really went through some really hard stuff, because they were able to kind of move forward or push it on the back burner for like the midlife crisis or wherever that's going to come up. But, you know, it's good to kind of acknowledge that there might be something that needs some healing, because it can be disturbing to look at those things, but at the same time, I think it's so much more disturbing to live with that poison inside of you. And it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. If you allow the infection, you know, the pus from the situation to come to the surface, then it can be released and you can get to the other side of that. And so I really think doing the work, even though it can be hard or it's uncomfortable and not the funnest thing to really do, it's extremely rewarding, because our quality of life is what life is about. And if we are trudging through life holding on to things that have caused us pain and not able to get to the other side, it really gets in the way of fully enjoying life. So we're going to do a guided meditation today that's extended. So I say that because I've had a lot of feedback where people really like the longer meditations, that it has been very helpful for them. So when I load these up later to different platforms, I have a YouTube station called Michelle Love with Dynamic Change and Wellness. You can find the full hour show and just click on it. It's just a free thing, and listen to it over and over. And if it resonates with you, just have that support for getting in touch with things. And also with these meditations, what I'm trying to show people is another way to think, another way to work with their perceptions. I think our mind is very, very powerful, and it helps direct your emotional body and your emotional experience. And I think we often, because of trauma, we get stuck in the emotional subconscious groove of the trauma, and then it affects how we think, it affects how we behave and everything. So I'm trying to show you another way to kind of start working that into a healthier groove and a way to heal the trauma, so that you can find a way to release these emotional things that are stored. So again, let's get started. My name is Michelle Love. This is Dynamic Change. You are listening to KPCALP in Petaluma. And so we're going to do a guided meditation that goes through the whole body. And what I would like you to consider, I often recommend ways to get in touch with where you need to work on things. Having a lot of water to drink is a good start, because if you take a long, big drink of water, it encourages some really deep breaths after that swallowing all that water. And that deep breathing is a basis for meditation. I do teach meditation. So, drinking some water, and you can also do some journaling, you can do art, you can just do a couple minutes of deep breathing and feel and see if you can notice the times where you are triggered. And so those triggers are like, I feel this pain or discomfort that shows up in my body when I'm intimate with someone, when I'm trying to get close to someone. So I'm doing this for romantic relationship specifically, so it's really around intimacy, but again, this can be from physical abuse as well. But like, notice when I get startled. Let's say something startles you. There's a part of your body that maybe always clenches up, always feels tight. I've always had this pain in my shoulder, and it never really made sense why I had it. Maybe I never hurt myself there, but I seem to hold all this stuff here. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, is where these somatic trauma responses can be living in our bodies, and how do we desensitize it so it can release and relax and feel receptive and open to feeling pleasure and connection, and not feeling like it has to guard against this pain that it has experienced. Okay? So that's the kind of journaling, that's the kind of pondering I want people to kind of think about. So when they do this guided meditation, when they get to that part of the body, they are re-educating it. Okay? So do this with me now. You can put your hands palms up on your thighs. Sit or lay down if you want, really comfortably, feet connected to the earth. Let's take some deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose, and then hold the breath, and then when you're ready to exhale, exhale through the mouth. Breathing at your breath pace. You'll be breathing in through the nose, holding the breath once you deeply inhale. Holding the breath for a moment, and then fully exhale. And one more breath. Inhale. Holding that breath for a moment, and then exhale. And now we're going to imagine, I've talked about grounding many times. So whatever your mind believes, your energy will do. We have energy that runs through our body. And when you work on your energy, it helps the emotional body, all that stress, your blood pressure, all those things have more ease and more regulation when you work on focusing on your energy. That's why meditation is nowadays really recommended a lot from therapists. Is it helps work on your biological systems, your emotional systems, and helps calm the mind. Okay? So we're going to inhale. When you exhale, imagine feeling or seeing your energy, and it can be like these beams of light, you can just give it a color, that drop down from your feet into the earth and grow roots into the earth. You can also drop it from the tailbone. So we're going to do both areas, but you go into the earth and just feel this deep, kind of heavy, connecting feeling as you grow these roots with your energy. So breathing in, exhaling, dropping the energy. Breathing at your breath pace, and dropping the energy. And 2 more breaths. Dropping the energy into the earth. And again. And release. So this also is a live TV show. I never watch the TV show because I don't want to overwhelm myself being so seen. But for all of them, a Tai Chi practice that I can also describe sitting down is moving meditation. So when people just sit and try to meditate, often that can be very hard and challenging, but you can also do this while standing up. So it would be like you inhale, and you can do this thing where you bring your arms up as you inhale, palms up. And when you exhale, you release and kind of let your body sway a little bit back and forth. Knees are bent if you're standing up. And you let your arms kind of float down through your body. And you can feel the energy move with the movement of your arms. So you would go inhale. When you're standing up, moving the hands with the breath. Exhale, release. So when you're doing it moving, so when you move a little bit with your body as you're doing various slow meditative movement, I find that works for a lot of people. So if sitting down for you or trying to be real intentional about it is difficult, stand up, okay? And do just a little slight movement with your breath, with your body, where it sways a little bit back and forth. Knees are slightly bent, and it's just this comfortable, very subtle movement. Okay, so now that we have that connection with the earth, notice feeling present in your body. And let's go ahead and protect your body. This helps give you insulation if you're a very sensitive person, where you feel a lot and you feel overwhelmed by everything you feel. Imagine putting a bubble of just energy around your body that just encapsulates it and kind of seals you off from everybody and everything in the world, just so you can just deal with you and not feel everything else so much. So you make it your favorite color, whatever color you want it to be, and then you put this color all around you in all directions, under your feet, behind your back, and then you pull this bubble in really tight into the power center, the center of your body, and make it tight. And what this does, this will give you some insulation from all that stimuli. And you can also fill it in with that color of energy. So it's almost like a beautiful energetic color. It's like, I chose blue, so you could do blue, but you fill it in with this beautiful energy. And when you do that, it gives you some insulation from feeling so much if you're an empath and really sensitive. So now that we've done that, we're going to take 3 deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And again. Rolling the shoulders back, relaxing the shoulders. One more breath. And we're going to gently twist to the right. If you have a chair that you're sitting in, you can hold on to the arms of the chair and just look over that right shoulder and hold the twist for a moment, and breathing in a couple breaths. And then when you're ready, you're going to twist the other way to the left. Look over the left shoulder, hold it for a breath or two, and then gently breathing in and breathing out. And then placing one hand on your heart and one hand on the lower belly, taking 3 deep breaths, feeling your chest, feeling your belly with your hand. One more breath. Leaving the hands there, we're going to turn the head to the right, And take a breath in. Relaxing the right shoulder, gently turning the head to the left. Leaving it towards the left, breathe in. And exhale. And then placing the hands behind the back, and you can grab onto your forearms or even your elbows. And what this does is it opens up the chest a little bit. We're going to take 3 deep breaths, allowing the chest to relax. Opening up the shoulders, relaxing the throat. And last deep breath. And then taking 2 middle fingers of your right hand and just massage your forehead. You know, I'm always amazed how much my forehead can hold tension. You just get used to it, right? We do not want to be used to these things and do these little circular, I'm just going to massage these little circles. And it really helps to relax. You could do one gentle, gentle, gentle pressure in between the eyebrows. And then do again on the forehead, 2 fingers gently pressing, and you just kind of do this little circle pressure thing. And then you can do the top of your head very gently, very, very gently. Little circle pressure. You can also do your jaw. Opening the jaw and release. So we're going to inhale, and we're going to start at our feet. So we're going to inhale and imagine feeling the breath all the way down in our feet. So just imagine breathing into the soles of your feet. And let's put a really relaxing color there. I'm going to put a soothing, I think I'm going to do a green color. So when I breathe in, I'm going to see this beautiful green, whatever shade of green you like, really just bathing and just giving this nice, warm, green feeling to the bottoms of your feet, the soles of your feet, breathing in deeply. And release. And breathing in deeply. And exhale, breathing into the feet. And we're going to send a message to our feet of just, you're safe. You feel the feet connected to the earth. And that solid connection that you feel with each breath as you feel this green energy is going to remind you that, you're really in your body. It's safe to be in your body, to feel really present. That's what I mean by being in your body. And really able to feel everything. And, I like to speak to every different type of belief system. But if you're spiritual, you can also connect with, if you have spiritual support you like to pay attention to. Some people love angels. Some people feel connected with, the earth and the animals. Some people like certain saints. Some people just don't believe in those things and they just believe in a universal energy. So whatever you want to really call upon good, like an energy level that's a very, only has a good effect on you. That's your filter. That's the only thing you allow within your energy space in your life. So you can call upon that to be there for you now, or assist you, or just provide support, whatever works for you. Breathing in and exhale. And feeling that green energy in the soles of your feet, telling your feet there's a safe connection for you in your life as you are connecting to the earth. And relax the feet. Let them feel, and you can give them something to connect to. To me, I'm feeling a very earthy connection right now. If you like water, you can say, oh, I'm going to put them in this just nice, calm, maybe it's a stream, maybe it's you're at the river, but someplace calm where your feet can just feel grounded and connected. Or maybe you imagine you're hiking and you just sit down on a boulder and you take your shoes off and you connect with the earth. So breathing in and exhale. Relaxing the feet, feeling that safe, solid connection to the earth. And then as you breathe now, you're going to bring that green energy up your legs. And as we do this, I want you to pay attention to your body. And if you feel a part of your body where you're like, oh man, I just feel sad there, or I feel like there's always pain there, and I don't know why, but I always feel this like pain memory. If you come across any of that in your body through this guided meditation, I want you to kind of put your hand there and just with your hand imagine just giving it some really loving touch. Okay, so let's say you get to your knee and you're like, oh wow, I don't know, something's there. Put your hands on your knee and just keep thinking of feeling safe, feeling connected with the green energy in the earth, and breathe in and feel the energy coming up from the feet, this green healing energy coming up the calves and relaxing the ankles. The feet are relaxed. The ankles start to relax. Inhaling. Exhaling, relaxing the calves. And let's go ahead and touch our calves with our hands. Okay, so bring your hands down to your calves. And as you exhale, imagine sending energy from your hands that feels the focus of this. Let's take a couple breaths and put this energy into the hands. Let's put love. So I'm going to imagine putting some like pink light in my hands for love. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So we're imagining putting love into our hands. Love for safety, love for compassion, love for, feeling a positive connection. And so when we touch our calves now, as we do the deep breathing, there's this pink, warm, loving energy coming from the hands into the calves. So leaning forward, putting your hands on your calves, inhale. Exhale, allow that pink energy to go into your calves from your hands. Inhale. And exhale. And this is also to send love and appreciation to our body. So when we've gone through certain experiences, abuses and stuff, it can make us not feel real great about our body. Sometimes we just feel kind of ucky. So to change the uckiness, we're going to put something good into that part of our body instead. So let's move to the knees as we inhale. So we're bringing up that green energy. Hands are on the knees. So bring the green energy up first into the knees. And the green energy is coming up from the feet, up into your knees. Inhale. And now imagine, as your hands are on your knees, that you're releasing this love and this positivity and just appreciating your body. So just really sending some good, positive compassion and love from your hands into your knees. So if there's any feelings that don't feel good, whether it's fear or something uncomfortable or it just doesn't feel good, we're going to send some really loving energy to replace that from your hands. So breathing in. Sending that energy into your knees. Sending pink light and love. And then sitting back, so you're sitting straight up. Put those hands on your chest, over your heart. Breathing into your heart. And imagine sending love from your heart into your hands. Feeling the energy. And if it's hard to feel that love, think of something that you really love. Think of somebody, think of a place, your pet, your kid, your spouse, your best friend, anyone you want. But summon the love, find the love. Inhale. Exhale, feel that love. Let it infuse your hands. Give it a color, make it pink. Now take that love from your heart in your hands, now put it on your thighs. So as you breathe in, you're going to bring that green energy up from the knees into the thighs, relaxing the muscles in your thighs. And inhale. Feeling the thighs becoming heavy and relaxing. And I want you to place those hands anywhere you feel like there has been something that needs to be cleared, where it may feel tight or there's been pain or it's always bothered you there. And you go anywhere. It could be the outside of the thighs, inside the thighs. Anywhere you feel like it may have been holding something, I want you to breathe in gently, release that love now from your hands, pink light from your hands into the tissue in that area, those muscles. Now I want you to think in your mind that you say your name in your mind. I am, so I'm going to say I am Michelle. So say your name. I am saying your name, and say it 3 times in your mind or even out loud. I am Michelle. I am, say your name. I am, say your name. And then say, and I claim back my body for myself. I claim back my body for myself. I love my body. And I send love and healing to all parts of my body. And then say your name again. I am, and then say your name. I am, and then say your name. This is my body. I reclaim all parts of my body back to myself, and I send my body love. And now move your hands more to the hips, the outside of your hips. You can do the inside of the hips. Anywhere, it's your body. We can't see what you're doing. And put your hands where you need it. And just take some breaths and send love to that area. And claim it for yourself. This is my body. I want to feel good about it. Sending love to your body from the hands. Relaxing the buttocks. Relaxing the pelvic floor. All your special areas, let them relax. And now, just imagine this energy coming out from the hands. And now let's make it green. And so imagine if you put this almost like a disc of green energy, and that you're sitting on or standing. Just imagine if there's this disc of healing, comforting, supportive energy that you're sitting on that just kind of coats that part of the body, the pelvic floor, the buttocks, and allows everything to relax. And just in your mind, or you can even say it out loud, say, I am safe. My body is safe. I am safe to receive positive experience. I will choose good people that are only kind to my body, loving towards my body, and respectful. I can trust myself, breathing in, thinking I can trust myself. And so when you feel a trigger, instead of, like, if you can stop the trigger, like notice, oh my gosh, this comes to mind, that doesn't feel good, or I always think this is bad, negative thought that always comes up, or memory, or whatever. If that comes up, see if you can think of the age of yourself that started, okay, when it happened, right? The bad feeling, the bad situation, it comes from a certain time in your life. So if you can think of that time, say, okay, I was 5 years old. Imagine your 5-year-old, and imagine just communicating with that 5-year-old like a parent. So you're the parent of the 5-year-old, and just say, I'm going to put you in this safe bubble that we did earlier. Put that beautiful color around that age with your mind, with your intention. Say, I'm going to put this blue bubble, whatever color you want, all around you, and I'm going to fill it up with this magical, beautiful healing energy. And you tell that 5-year-old, I'm going to keep working on creating a safe space so we can feel better. And tell your 5-year-old you don't have to do anything but feel safe. You're not in charge, I'm in charge. A lot of times the inner child is running the show. So we gotta let them know, but they have to believe you. You have to mean it. So I want you to be a parent to yourself, and I want you to mean it. I want your inner child to be like, okay, I feel it in your voice. I hear it in your mind. You really mean it. That you really want to filter out the old pattern that, so with these filters, if I only allow good people into my space, good energy, kind touch, and you can tell them, I'm gonna fight for you. I'm gonna be feisty, fight for your security. And by fighting, I mean having that determination, that grit, that focus to figure out the healthiest pattern that would help you and what you need to act out that pattern. What kind of behaviors? Maybe you don't, you stop drinking. Maybe you realize you have some really toxic people that you are allowing into your life. Maybe you're like, this is really stressful. I realize I do this thing and I'm going to stop it. Or I'm going to speak up for myself. And tell your inner child, when that person puts me down, now I'm going to leave the room. I'm going to tell them, you cannot talk to me that way. I will not be your friend anymore. Like, you have to give them some actions, some things you're going to do so you're believable. And you have to really mean it. Okay? So we're going to take some deep breaths. And now we're going to put the hands on your lower belly. And you're going to pull up that green energy into the lower belly. And when you come across a part of your body you know is holding some negative experience or trauma, I want you to consider on your own time just having your hands in that area and just, kind of pet yourself. Give yourself some nice, safe, kind, sometimes you got to hug yourself. Sometimes you need to, caress your arm and give it some good feeling. Maybe there's been too much harshness in life. Maybe you didn't get enough kindness. Maybe, you've been in an abusive relationship, right? So we have to start communicating with our body in a gentle, kind, safe way so we feel safe, so we can have passion again. We can have trust to receive pleasure and good things, right? Okay. So hands are on the lower belly, breathing into the lower belly. And then sending that love from your hands into the lower belly. And again, you can do those statements. I am, and then say your name. I am, say your name. I am, say your name. And the reason we do this is sometimes we have to really get acquainted with just us. Sometimes we mesh into our relationships, we mesh into our life in a way where we don't have sovereignty over our space enough, over our body enough. So that's why we're doing that. Now move the hands, one hand on the center of your body, one hand on your chest, breathing in. Breathing in that green energy into those places. Relaxing your stomach, relaxing your heart. And say your name, I am, and then say your name. Say it 3 times. Bringing that green energy up, relaxing those parts of your body. Feeling the comfort. Again, gently, like I'm gonna, so you can see it, gently touch my shoulder. And just imagine sending it love and kindness from your hands. Breathing. And then we're going to place one hand on your throat gently, another hand in front of the shoulder, and allow your throat to relax. A lot of times, sometimes we don't have the permission or the safety in our life to always say what we need to say for ourselves, so we hold everything in, and it creates and supports this feeling that we cannot have our own voice and our own boundaries, right? So we're going to breathe into the throat, relaxing it with that green energy. Relaxing the throat. Opening up the energy. See that ball of green energy spinning in the throat area. Relaxing it. Giving yourself permission to communicate your boundaries. And then put the hand on the other shoulder. And now put that hand from the throat to the back of the neck. Breathing in the green energy. Putting it to the back of the neck. And into the shoulder. I'm putting that love from the hands into the back of the neck and the shoulder. And then now we're going to place the hands on the head. One on the back of the head, one on the top of the head. Sending that green energy. Allowing the eyes to relax, allowing your temples to relax, allowing the jaw to relax. And now bring those hands behind your back and put them on the low back. That's where your kidneys are. Now our adrenals are back there, right? So fight or flight sensations are going to be in correspondence with that part of our body. So we're going to finish there. Breathe into your low back. Bringing that green energy into the low back in your hands. Relaxing the kidneys and the adrenals. Making sure the buttocks is relaxed. Telling your body you are safe. Feeling the green energy go into the spine, going up and down the spine with the green energy. Letting the hands go to the legs, relaxing, breathing gently. Feeling the back relaxed, the shoulders relaxed. And I want you to think about these mantras that you can say to yourself, saying your name. I am so-and-so, and I allow my body to feel safe. I will, and pick a behavior or two. I will do these 2 new things to stand up for myself, to change a situation that I know has been causing me stress. And also think of some boundaries for your body. I'm going to demand that someone is gentle with my body. Let's say my partner. When I'm with my partner, I'm going to ask them to gently just stroke my arm and my hand and have them tell me how much they love me, how much they appreciate me, and why. And ask your partner. And if you don't have a partner, these are things you can do for the future. But you can ask them just to hug you. And so it's not like a sexualized thing. It's like a loving touch. We need a lot of loving touch. Just have them say, I just need you to hold me for 5 minutes and tell me how fantastic I am, because I forget. And tell me why. Tell me the good things about yourself. And you got to really open up to that. Receive that. Feel that. Trust that. And just, really start acknowledging, I have a kind heart. I try to do good things for people. I'm thoughtful. I love to make people laugh and it brings them healing. I love to take care of animals or the elderly, or I'm really great with my kid. Like, you have to really think about why you deserve love and register that with yourself and incorporate that into your touch. Touch those parts of your body and say, I claim these parts of my body for myself, and release the past. So every time you feel a trigger, I don't care where it is in your body, put your hands on that part of the body, send it love, and just say, you are part of my body. And whatever happened, we can let that go. Because carrying around that pain doesn't help you. So and you can, breathe and let it drain out of your body, down the bottom of your feet and out into the earth. So if you find something to release in your body, take a couple breaths right now and imagine it just pouring out from your body, from that part of your body. Release it and just, say it's time. Okay, just really be determined and just feel it kind of oozing out into your body, out your feet, into the earth. You can do it into the water, whatever you want. Another breath and release. So again, this is Michelle Love. You have been listening to Dynamic Change on KPCA-LP in Petaluma, a free-range radio station. And today we've been talking about kind of reclaiming your body. And if we have trauma that has been stored in our body from being abused as a kid, or if we've had some really not okay things we've had to process, giving you some ways you can work with, start touching your body and giving it the kind of loving, compassionate contact, safe contact that it should have gotten if it hasn't already gotten it, okay? And how we can give it to ourselves. So this extended guided meditation, I recommend trying it out if this is something that you realize you could benefit from. And also think about how you can ask your partner to support this healing. So I'm going to take a break from all of that and read about one of our shows on the radio station. This one's called Lulu's Lunch Break. It's on Tuesdays from 12 to 1 p.m., hosted by Lulu. I love her name. Lulu has an eclectic musical taste that spans generations, genres, and continents. More often than not, a lunch break spent with Lulu will revolve around a theme. Songs featuring clapping, whistling, days of the week, even murder. Oh my goodness. She doesn't take herself too seriously, and neither should you. Tuesday at noon has never sounded so good. That sounds really quite playful. I love playful. So again, my name's Michelle Love, and if you want some more information about the things I do, I teach a lot of classes, you can go to my website. And my website is dynamicchangewellness.com. And you can also email me through the website if there's something you would like me to give you a guided meditation on to heal. And if you have a particular type of stress you would like some feedback in. I'm not easily intimidated, so I'm always open to any suggestions of something you would like some problem solving around. If you want to email me, my email is dcwellness88@gmail.com. And all my shows, if you want to listen to the full show another time, you can go to my YouTube station, Michelle Love with Dynamic Change and Wellness. And next week I plan to talk more around intimacy and incorporating communication with your partner to be able to talk about things that are a little tricky and ask for what you need. So I'm grateful for you being here today. I hope your day is really fantastic, and take good care of yourselves, and I hope you do something fun today. And I will see you next week on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.